welcome. This is Fachstelle Interkulturelle Öffnung. It's a specialist department for intercultural awareness. And we are here with our program Im Gespräch mit Corona weltweit to talk about how people in different regions, different countries experience the whole Corona situation right now. And now we are talking to Peter from Nairobi. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Would you please introduce yourself briefly?
All right, so my name is Peter Oberi. I reside in Nairobi, the capital of Kenya. I reside in an area called Langata, which is basically a small estate that is within Nairobi. Yes, so I'm currently in the office, going on with work. Yeah.
Thank you. So how are you right now? How are you experiencing the whole situation the last weeks?
The last weeks have been, for lack of a better word, they've been quite crazy and chaotic from our end because of the abrupt change. As you know, in Kenya or in Nairobi, the city, most of the people depend on income from small businesses. Actually, the majority of people, very few people, a very small percentage of people are actually in formal employment.
Mm-hmm.
So with all the changes, it has been crazy. Also our transport, that is moving from one place to another, has been a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get even the operators, the people who operate the public transport, what we call matatus in Kenya, we're getting most of them are keeping up in providing the transport. So moving from one place to another has been a struggle.
Mm.
Also, in terms of food, as I started, most of the people are informal source of income. So we get a lot of people, since they can't work because there are so many restrictions, we get a lot of people really suffering. Like where I live in Langata, there's a slum, there's a small slum. It's called Kijiji. Basically, we've been going there just sharing the little that we have. But when you go to the homesteads, you see people are really, they're really struggling. Guys are missing food, water,
Mm-hmm.
sanitation. So basically, we've been using the little resources that we have just to share with them. Yeah, but hopefully this can end soon, because I'm not sure. I don't think we'll be able to sustain the support for a long time. Yeah, the government is coming in as well. However, they are not doing much. They're not getting to the people who really need the support.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what's happening is they're just individuals putting aside their own income just to be able to support now these people in the slum area. Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
So you talked about restrictions. What are the official rules in Nairobi?
Okay, if I can start with one. First, we have a curfew. This is the most serious. We have a curfew which starts from 7 p.m. That is in the evening, and it ends at 5 a.m. So basically, when it hits 7 p.m., unless you are a doctor or police officer, what we basically call essential services which have to they have to be there at all costs. So from that point, you're not allowed to be outside. So if you hadn't got food or anything, you're not allowed to come out of the house. So we have the curfew that has taken 21 days. It was extended by another 21 days just the other day. So we are expecting the curfew to continue. Also, if you're in Nairobi, which is the capital city, guys are not allowed to move from Nairobi to the other towns.
Mm.
Yes, so if you had traveled to Nairobi before the curfew, or rather the lockdown, you're not allowed to leave the city. And guys are not allowed to come into the city, because basically this is the epicenter where most of the cases have been found. So the government is trying to stop the spread of the virus to the other towns around the country.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, then the other one is on, as I started, public transport. Public transport has also been really affected, the restrictions. Basically, they halved the number of passengers in the transport system. So basically, the vehicles which you call matatus. So if a matatu was carrying 14 passengers, at the moment they're only allowed to carry 7 passengers. Yes, and also there's social distancing. Basically, you're not supposed to be to have group gatherings. There's no going to church, mosque. Yeah, so all public gatherings have been cancelled. Also, most of the employers are encouraged to allow the employees to work from home. Yeah, like in my case, I've only come to work, I think, twice since the month started. Yes, so basically those are the restrictions that are currently there. Yeah.
All right, thank you. So how does it affect you in your daily life, like at work, coming to work or staying at home or stuff like that?
Well, for my case, I've been affected in a number of ways. First of all, the income that I earn from my employer basically is almost exhausted because you're supporting so many people. Okay, there's family that is out there in the rural areas. You have to support them because they're not getting income from anywhere because most of the businesses have been they're basically not running. Of course, also means of transport. It's a struggle just moving from one point to another unless you're driving. I'm not lucky enough to own a car, but if you're depending on the public transport system, then it becomes a really big challenge. Like coming to the office is a really big challenge. And of course, just not being able to move. And I'm someone who really loved traveling. So I'm also affected in that way. And of course, also when you see your people suffering, especially when you go to the slums and you see people suffering and you can't do too much, then as a human being, you won't be happy. Because these are our neighbors. Not living in the slum myself, but basically just seeing the way they are struggling, just the families. Someone will come and knock at your door and just ask, kindly just give me one cup of flour. Okay, I have children in the house and they're sleeping hungry because this person was depending on, a source of income which is no longer there.
Yeah.
So such, get such effects. Yes, it's not a very good feeling.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how would you describe the general mood in the city? Is it very stressed?
It's actually, there's a lot of tension. There's a lot of tension. Like if you just move around the streets, if you could be able to see the outside, the streets are actually empty. So most of the people are feeling that tension. Most of the people are scared to even leave their houses. So there's a lot of tension, and we had a press conference from our president that was on Sunday. Yeah, and it actually was better than what we had expected because most of the people, the country was expecting a total lockdown. Like basically no movement at all. Yeah, but not sure if it's fortunate or unfortunate, but according to the government guidelines, they just extended the curfew, the 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. curfew. Yes, but the total lockdown has not happened, but that is what most people were feeling was going to happen. But yeah, so far it hasn't happened. So yeah.
All right. So when you're going to buy your groceries and that stuff, are people hoarding groceries or products in
Yes, a lot. There's a lot of hoarding. There's a lot of hoarding, especially in the areas, the slum areas. You get items like flour, like sugar. Basically, guys are keeping them. Then they're selling them like at double the price.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's affecting especially the food stuff, the masks, the face masks. Yeah, so there's a lot of hoarding at the moment. Though the government is trying to control it, but I'm not sure they'll be able to do much. Okay. Yes, but it's something that is there, and even in the public media, it's something that has been really discussed. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much. Those were all questions we had. Thank you for sharing your perspective on this situation with us. We can see that it's a very difficult situation, and we're really hoping that in the future it will all be good, and yeah, as soon as possible, right?
Thank you very much as well. I appreciate your time. We also hope for the same. And this is something that is affecting the whole world.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate the fact that, you've shown curiosity just to see what's happening in different parts of the world. So we really appreciate from our end, we're doing our best just to follow the guidelines, just to ensure that we don't allow this, the virus to destroy the whole of humanity. So everyone has a part to play in this.
Right. Yeah, that's right.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.